You got to sprinkle the female vibe in there, guys.
There you go.
There's a lot of male content creators, but the ladies are in here representing too.
All right, so now it's time for the Ecamm behind the stream. As you can tell already, I have Miss Jill set up. She's going to show us what she's working with in her studio. Now, I see you have a GoPro in your hand there. Can you actually start with this talking about your audio setup?
Yes, I can. And yes, I'm using a GoPro, which actually I'm going to, little plug, I'm going to make a GoPros are cool behind the scenes streaming cameras, but they're a little tricky to set up. So I did record a video today, a tutorial on how to do that. So you can catch that later. But starting with the microphone, which you don't need this behind the scene camera phone. This is the Wave 3. Now I do a lot of production at different locations, but this Wave 3 is a USB mic and it kind of stays in my home setup. This is the corner of my bedroom. So I wanted a mic that was totally easy. I have the same mic you guys have too hanging up here, but I don't have my cloud lifter, so it's not in the show today.
I got you.
How's the audio sound though? Is it sounding all right?
You sound great.
You sound really, really good.
Awesome. For a USB mic, I'm a big fan of this microphone. And the arm that comes along with it is, well, it doesn't come with it. You got to order it separately. But the Wave arm, I love it. It is one of the most convenient, sleek looking, I don't know, mic stands. I really, really love it.
There you go.
I'm going to switch to another scene. So I hope I don't make anyone sick because I am using a GoPro. Ugh, I don't have one of those cool overhead rigs right now, but... What do you want me to explain? Want me to explain?
So now we talked about
lights?
your microphone. So the microphone that you have, the Wave, is actually a mic and USB. The interface is connected to that microphone. So you don't need an audio interface for that at all?
Exactly.
Great. That's what I want to know. So how about your camera and your lens?
Cool. So the camera that you cannot see, but the one that I'm using right here, is behind my teleprompter. And hold on, I got to get my cheat sheet, guys. Hold on. Oh, God, this is not the best behind the scenes. You know what, though?
You're doing great.
Wow, hold on. Let me just talk about it.
So
I have the Canon ZV-E10. So if you guys know Doc from Ecamm, he's the one that was like, Jillian, you need to get off the Canon, which is not nice because here's my Canon. This is my Canon 80D with a Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter 1.8 lens.
I like that.
I like it.
Yeah, it looks great.
I think the difference.
This is a Sony.
This is the Sony. I will say the product mode with the Sony, like the fact that will just be so focused immediately. I mean, I am a big fan of the Sony, and that's plugged in via USB. I'm not using a capture card. So the fact that it's streaming and charging the camera is also a great feature. So I'm really loving that Sony. It's got the 16 millimeter 1.4 lens on it.
That's awesome.
Wow, so you don't even need a capture card or nothing?
Nope. I'm not using any capture cards today except for my GoPro. So,
very good.
So those are my cameras and my lenses.
So explain real quick, how did you have that hooked up from? Is that USB out of the GoPro?
So the GoPro is interesting. So I have, you'll see here, actually let me switch to this camera. You'll see that I've got this pink cable here is a USB cable that's plugged into a battery pack.
There you go.
Right.
Because GoPros are notorious for just chewing through batteries. So I have a media mod on this GoPro. And once I'll switch to the scene where I can show you that it actually does look good. But I also have a micro HDMI cable going into a cam link and then going into my Cal Digit.
Very good.
Let me see if I can keep steady hands for a second here, guys. So I got some lights set up on the side here. I do have a ring light above me. And then I've got my Mac Mini. And then I've got this fun little clickety-clack keyboard.
That's a Logitech keyboard, right?
Yeah, I love that. So I didn't want to get it because I know all my shortcuts in my Mac keyboard. But then it was just so darn cute with all the yellow. I love yellow.
Cuteness overrode the functionality, right?
Well,
I got the same.
It's smart. It does the Mac shortcuts. You just have to do the software and tell it what to do. Yeah.
I got a version like that. It's a gray one that's just, it's not the clickety clack, but it's round keyboard and it's small for my iPad. But I ended up taking it to work and using it with my laptop too. So it's like, I love that keyboard. So Logitech, they make some really good stuff.
Yeah, it feels so good. I feel like I'm using a typewriter, but I'm not.
That's
There you
cool.
go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we talked about your microphone, your camera, we talked about you're using a Mac Mini there. And what type lights do you have? I saw the ring light, but what type lights do you have just set up right in front of you? Do you know?
Right. Yes, I do. So these two right here, they're kind of one on one side, one on the other, is the Viltrox VL200T. They were kind of cheap, cheap-ish. Lights I found at the beginning of starting to stream. But I got to say, I use them so frequently because you can change the temperature and the power and all that. But also you can buy batteries for them and have them be fully remote. With all the stuff that I'm doing, I need to be able to have a completely movable setup. So having wire-free options is huge for me. And I like them. You can put them anywhere. I have one connected to a stand that's on the table and then one on a tripod. And then all the stinking RGB lights behind me are, I don't remember whose stream I was on, one of the many Ecamm live streamers, but they had put this RGB floodlights. I can't tell you how heavy this box is. It's very heavy. But it's kind of cool. You know, I got a little remote here and I can change the colors with my camera settings. There's only 3 lights that won't flicker. So I could do yellow. I don't think that flickers too bad. Pink is okay. Blue and then teal. But with my current light settings in my cameras, if I switch to something else, it'll do that wavy thing.
Got you.
I got you.
Gotcha.
Which is a look, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, that's really cool. So
Yeah.
tell me, what do you think is your favorite production tool, software or hardware in your setup?
You know, there's so many great things. Because now it's like, now you need them all. I got to say, I am a big fan of the new Sony that I got for sure.
Okay.
The ZV-E10. But also the CalDigit. It's one of those pieces of equipment. It's a, you know, it's an additional USB hub, right? It's a powered USB hub. When, especially if you're going to be like me and maybe not use a capture card for every camera, if you've got multiple cameras, if you just want to plug in your camera via USB, you need to have all of the inputs.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
if you were to just use those little, what do you call them? The little ports that aren't powered, they're going to get real hot. Something's going to go wrong. You're going to think your cables are broken. So having a powered USB hub when you have that many inputs and outputs is key. It must be done.
That's awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
Miss Jill, I really do appreciate it, your time, and actually going through that. That's going to really help some people with the different aspects of how you do your setup. So thank you for being a part of the Ecamm
You're welcome.
Behind the Stream.